This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let's get started, guys. So in the last class, we are looking into your ARM template. We're trying to understand the template. So what are the different options we have in there? So generally, we do have what parameters, we have variables, and we have the resources. So resources is the actual one where based upon resources only your respective, the kind of virtual machine or your storage account what you're trying to create are being created in your subscription level in here. For every parameter, as I told you, you'll be having your type of data, what you're trying to provide, the value, the metadata, or your allowed values. So I'm not saying all the things will be there for sure, but based upon the type of parameter you're trying to go with in here, right? So let me open up the parameter file. I mean, sorry, your ARM template one more time. So this is what we saw, the parameters, your user ID and all those things. So now probably not, we're seeing scrolling down, scrolling up, maybe a little bit hectic for us to see the different things what we have in here. So to make it more easier, to read it more easier, how can you do that? So for that reason, what I'll do, so we have an option called as online JSON viewer, because all the things what you see in here is a kind of a JSON format, right? So everything is in JSON format in here. So to read your things, we have a one option called as online JSON format in here. So let me go with like online JSON viewer. Okay, so just click on your online JSON viewer, and what I'll do, just copy Control A, copy the whole ARM template what you have in here, and just paste it here. So based upon what you have, so based upon the parameters you have in here, within the parameters, your username and all those things, so all those things comes under my parameters, OS version, all those things in here, up to my VM name. So later we have variables. See, variables, it's a hard-coded values we have in here. So all these values, and finally you have our resources where the values from your variables and the values from your parameters will be used under my resources. So to make it more easier, after pasting your things within your online viewer, JSON viewer in here, so you can see viewer. So this one, it's trying to consolidate, it's trying to, try to pack all your ARMW into very small pieces in here. So the very first one, I can see parameter. So under a parameter, what you have in here, see, under the, let's go up, and the parameter, what you have, I have my username. Under username, you can see something like type in here and something like metadata, right? So go back in here, just expand your username. So you can see type and you can see metadata. So when you have your curly bracket open and close, that will be taken as, the expansion part in here. So see, you can see the curly bracket open and close. So whenever you have open and close curly brackets, automatically you can have one more, or one more small expansion kind of things in here. See, for metadata, I have a curly bracket open and I have curly bracket close in here. So overall, for a username, I have curly bracket open and curly bracket close. This is my overall starting and last. So this particular part, what you see from metadata, this is in between my main curly braces what you have in here. So overall for admin username, I'll be having one, plus symbol in here. Overall for things, I have one plus symbol because I have one curly bracket open. So where is that? We have one curly bracket open and one curly bracket close in here. After expanding my username, I can see type is directly mentioned in here, but for metadata, I can see one more curly bracket open and closes in here. But that reason being, after expansion, I can see one more my kind of expansion with respect to my metadata in here. So you can see this plus symbol only when you have a curly braces open and close with that respect to kind of detail level what you have in there. Okay, the same thing. So I can see again description, user name for the virtual machine, type a string, admin user name, what you have in here. So whatever you have in here with respect to my first entry, The same thing, it is been provided in here, but a different format where people can easily understand in here. Okay. Similarly, you can see the other one, password. So for password, I'm having you type is directly mentioned, minimum length is directly mentioned, but for metadata again, I may be having curly bracket, curly braces open and close in here for respect to within my admin password. So same thing you are seeing in here. See for my password. So this is my initial curly braces open and this is my last curly braces close. So within my first and last one, I can see my in between one more curly brackets open and close in here for my metadata. And see, I can see type is directly mentioned and minimum length directly mentioned in here. The same thing we can see in here, type, minimum and metadata. Okay, so the similar kind of stuff you can see lot much for other things as well. Type your default value here with a logic. So here with the metadata again back in here. So similarly for my other things, type default value, and here we have allowed values. See what is it for public IP SQ. So public IP SQ. See here we have. So with this one, anyway, this is within your curly bracket, so I can see that one within your starting and closing in here. For metadata, also have one opening and closing in here. At the same time, for allowed values, I have a kind of array in here. So when you are trying to mention the values within, allowed values, something like that, when you try to go multiple options, you put them in a kind of array. The square brackets open and close. So see here, for allowed values, it's a square bracket. So square bracket open and close in here. So even that will try to give you the form of your, see, square bracket open and close, and within that you can see your basic and standard. See in my OS version, type default value this one, but for allowed values is square bracket open and close. This is a kind of array. For metadata is a curly braces we have in here. So whatever you have within your template here, the exact thing will be replicated, but in a different format so that we can expand each and every part and we can know what's happening in here. Okay, so when I click on allowed values, see these many options I have in here, 8 things I have in here. The same thing, 8 options we have in here. So whatever you have in here, everything will be displayed in the kind of, granular level will be displayed here as well. Same thing what you have in your template level, but the way of presenting within your viewer will be different, and there within your text level will be different. So this is like very huge one, but here it's trying to simplify the things for us. It's trying to simplify where you can open each and every one and you can check whatever we have in here. So it's trying to simplify the things for us in here, so to understand the things. So similarly, my VM name size in here, or the location, the type string, the metadata, and the VM name, type string, the metadata, again the same thing, same old thing. So now for example, okay, I don't want to have a simple VM in name. I want to make a change in it. So what you do, you can't make any changes in here. So but go back to my text in here, go to my go to the parameters, OS version, VM size, location, yeah, VM name. So here I have my simple VM. So instead of this one, I'll try to mention something like Windows -VM. Go to viewer. Now it should be refreshed. So again parameters, VM name. Now I can see Windows VM in here. So whatever you mentioned within your JSON format, your text format in here, the same thing you should be able to see within your the JSON viewer in here. So once your parameters are done, then I don't have any functions in here. See the functions. So I don't have anything in here, just an empty array kind of things in here. So forget about that. So we have variables. So what are the things we have under variables? I have my storage account name, my nickname, my network interface names in here, address prefix, subnet. So whatever you have in here, everything will be shown directly in here, because we don't have any curly braces open or close between each one in here, nothing, right? So nothing will be there in here. So let me go with small thing in here. So let me go here and let me open my curly bracket open and let me close it. close it. So this is with respect to my storage name. Let me check it out. Change value in format. Um, so let me check now. Okay, probably for variables, it's not allowed. Anyway, not a problem. So I'm going to remove it. It's not English. Yeah. So what are the things you have within your variable section? So the same thing will be displayed as it is in here. So what next? So we have parameters, we have your variables. Now I want to go with my resources. So we have totally 6 resources to be created. So now after variables, what I have my resources. So under my resources, the very first one I have, the storage accounts. So under my storage account, this is my first resource I need to create. So under my storage account, I have the same thing, API version, the name, the location, the SKU, and the kind. When you go back in here, expand the first variable 0, your name, API version, the name, location, SKU, and your kind in here. Probably your SKU may be in your curly braces. Yeah, see, I can see my curly braces from a SKU. For that reason being, it's trying to come up with your this expansion bar in here, and finally kind. So this is like, okay, you can understand, okay, this is the first resource I'm trying to create in here. So for this one, from where I'm getting the values, I'm getting the values from my variable section storage account name. So go back to my variables. What we have storage account name? They're trying to derive the name of my storage account by using some resource group.id. So what are the resource group you provide? Based upon that, they may try to go ahead and they will try to get the values from there. And what about location? Location is asking to go to parameter section and look for my location tab. Okay, let me go to parameters and let me go to my location, and here again the default value showing you like resource group dot location. That means what are the group, what is location you use for your resource group, the same location can be used for my storage account as well in here. So the first one, see the kind, the SKU, the LRS, ZRS, ZRS, whatever you want to go with. So whatever you make a change with respect to my, the text format what you have in here. So based upon that, you can see the changes in here as well. So first resource, okay. What about second resource? This is my public IP address. So let's go with the second resource in here. This is my second resource, my public IP address in here. So I can see like, multiple for properties. I can see one more for DNS settings. I can see one more in here. So a lot many things in here. So name of my public IP address and location, and my SKU, I have one more curly brace open. For my properties, I have everything. So let me check it out a similar way. See, for SKU, I have open. For properties, I have open, and within my properties, I have one more DNS settings. I have open for this one here. So whatever you have, based upon that, your things will be coming up in here. So you can close the first 01 and open the first one, and you can look only specific to my this particular resource what you're trying to create in here. The name, okay, it's coming from your parameters, public IP name. Similarly, my location is coming from parameters in here. So go to the parameters, location anyway I know, the public IP name, where it is, here it is. So the default name is my public IP. So this value and this value, my name and my location, these two will be used under my name and location for my public IP address, and I'll be trying to create that. Okay, just in case I will let me check the other things else in here. Yeah, I can get my this public IP SKU from parameter section, and my this something method allocation method is also I'm getting from my parameter section. So you can find those things from my parameter. So IP SKU, yeah, it's a basic, and allocation method. Yeah, here it is. It's a dynamic, because I no, we will be getting a dynamic IP addresses every time. So whatever you are trying to do, everything will be based upon your parameters and your variables in here, and your kind of things mainly like your resources what you're trying to create in here. So what else? We're trying to create network security group. the name, and getting from variables and location of parameters. Third, the fourth one, virtual networks. My name I'm getting from my variables and location I'm getting from a location here. And we have more properties. Within that we have address spaces, and again we have something. So variables, address prefix. You should be getting from the variables part in here. So all these things, based upon the things what we have template, we tend to create the things in here. Similarly, fourth one, interfaces, the name and the location, again same thing. And finally, my virtual machine, the name, the for parameters, and my, and my what is it? My location also comes from my parameter input. So these two, the values what you get it from the parameter section here. So these are the actual ones, which is helping us to create your actual virtual machine. But to create these resources internally, again, what I'm trying to use, I'm trying to use my parameters and I'm trying to use my variables initial. That's the same thing what we have discussed in the last class. So parameters and variables, which are just assigning the values and keeping the values ready to create your respective resources for your virtual machine in here. Nothing more than that. Okay. So I hope you understood this small thing, what you have in here. How can you read your ARM template? So any ARM template, what you have, go ahead and paste it here. What are the changes you do in here? The same things can be viewed with respect to my viewer. It's making your, life more easier to understand your ARM template by just expanding each and every part what you have in here. So you can close it. So it's not like, it's a whole thing in a single notepad where you have to scroll up and scroll down. It's like, it's very little bit hectic to understand. It will be a little bit confusing. But here, this is very easy for us. So just I'm trying to understand how many resources we trying to create. What is about each and every source, where you're getting the values from here, each and every one what you have in here. So all those things will be more easier for us with respect to my online JSON viewer what you have in here. Okay.
So
So
Sean,
now,
can we change the values in that and just copy paste again and update it?
yeah, that's what I did, right? I made a
Yeah,
change to my VM name.
perfect. Okay.
It's a
Yeah, this one.
earlier,
Yeah, this one is easy format, easy to just go and access.
yeah, so easy to understand the things in here. So if you go back to parameters, my VM name, I can see Windows VM. So suppose I want to make this as a Linux VM, for example. For viewer, I should show you Linux in here. So you can update it, whatever as per your things in
So
here.
we don't need to just save it. It automatically saves.
Yeah, no need to save it. Once you make a change in, that is the reason, see here, and now you can see expanded mode, right?
Yeah,
Once you
that's
make
it.
any change in here, for example, small change in here, you go now, it will be up again to back to the original mode. Why? Because the things got changed. So the changed one which has been saved now you have to expand again to see whether it's been reflected or not. Yes, I can see it's reflected. So
Got it.
you don't
Got
need to save it, no nothing to do like this. So it's easier to go with. Okay. So now let me go to the portal. Let me try to, uh, you know, deploy this template and see whether we're able to create the virtual machine or not. So currently I don't have any resource groups. Perfect. Now I'm trying to go in the top. You can type in something like, templates. So here, go ahead and click on create. It asks you for the name and the description part. General tab, you can say it's for my VM deploy, and here we can say, again the same old thing if you want, or you can mention any in
JSON
detail
deploy.
step. Yeah, you can provide any in detail steps in here what you want. So next is like your ARM template. So here as well, you can see they're providing you like the standard format, the parameters and your resources. Okay, but so this was not required for me. I'm going to remove, and what I'll do, I'll try to copy this the same old stuff what I have in here, and I'll try to paste it in my ARM template in here. So this one now, once you did this one, you can go and click on add button. See, this is like I'm trying to save a template within my portal level. So template is saved. So now once you save your template, go back to my templates back in again. Now I can see my VM deploy, description part is there, and now you can see deploy. So now go ahead and click on your deploy part. Deploy. So once you say deploy, now in here everywhere we have been asked saying that okay, based upon the resource group what you have, your things will be coming up. You can see that within the parameter, if you go with your location, it's saying that resource group dot location, or within your other things, even within your variables part, you're trying to derive your name using the resource group, but I don't see any resource group option provided in my template in here, right? So that is being provided while you deploy things in here. See, now it's asking for your resource group. So whatever the location you choose and what are the resource group you choose in here, based upon these two options, wherever you're using your resource group, everywhere will be taken care. Resource group dot location, resource group dot ID, whatever you're trying to go in here, everything will be taken care in here. So currently I don't have any resource group, so I'm trying to create a new resource group, something like VRIT-RG. Click on OK, and I'm trying to go to the location east to west. So now this location east to west will be taken care for with respect to my location here in here. So because currently when I'm trying to run this one, this will try to create my VRIT-RG and it will try to save in where in my east west location. So the same location will be considered within this particular option what you see in here, and the same location will be applicable for all of my resources. Wherever you see the location required, see location required, wherever you see, everywhere you will be trying to show something like at east west in here. So now this is my main basic part. So next you have settings. So this particular settings is been getting displayed based upon the parameters what you have. So what I have in my parameters currently, I have admin user, password, all those things I have a parameterization, right? So let's see the first one. Do you have any or just a value in here? No. In here as well, do you have any value in here? No. But for this one, yes, I can see some default value. Similarly, for my public IP name, I can see my public IP. Similarly, for other things, I can see basic as a default value. At the same time, I can see allowed values as well. So now let's see the same thing, username, password with no values. So you can see admin username, no value, password, no value, DNS label fixed. Here, whatever you are having in here, the same thing will be displayed in here as well. See my public IP name, my public IP, and your allocation method. By default is dynamic, but you have allowed values as well, dynamic as well, static. So let's see this one, public IP allocation method. Yeah, see, by default I can see dynamic, but when you click on your drop down list, I can see both. So how are you getting this drop down list? I'm getting the drop down list because I'm having this allowed values option in here. If I don't have allowed value option, you will not get this drop down list in here. So for now, let me go back to my templates or here, discard it, go to edit, go to my ARM template. So here, yes. So let me try to remove this one. So let me go dynamic only. Since you have allowed values, I can see both of these things here. So I'm trying to remove this option now, for example. So I removed it allowed values with respect to my public IP method in here. Now I'm going to save it. Save it. Now if you go back and say deploy now my expectation is like for that allocation method, I will not see my drop down list anymore. Yeah, see, it's gone. So I can see only the one format we have in here. Of course, if you know it, you can write down the things, not a problem. It's not like mandatorily I should take only these things, not like that. If you want, you can update your name. You can put whatever you want in here. Okay, so based upon the things what you have in here, you can go ahead and you can use it. So if you have allowed values, then you'll be getting your drop down list in here. Even for operating OS version, you can see lot many things in here, right? So for my respect to OS version, I have allowed values. I can see lot many options inside this one. The same thing will be shown in here as well. All these options in here. So how I'm getting all these things? Because of my allowed values option available within my template. If you remove this one, then only default value will be there as you just saw for my public allocation method in here. Okay, so based upon the properties what you have, your VM names, it's showing you simple VM in here, because as per my things which I copied here, so this contains, you know, the kind of a name like VM name like a simple VM. For that reason being, it shows you simple VM over there, but it's not a mandatory that you have to use the same thing again. Don't make any changes to this kind of logics in here, but you can make a change of things for here as well. For example, now I would like to go with my Windows hyphen VM. I would like to go this name in here. So I can override. I can override the things. I can update the things in here. It's not a mandatory to use the same thing what I have in here. So they're trying to derive some value out of my resource group name. If you want to hard code the value in here, just go ahead, remove it and hard code it. Not a problem in here. So this is the things are coming up based upon the ARM template what you have. Or if you don't have any parameters in here and you simply like, you know, if you're trying to have only a kind of a value, see, here I have values. Suppose here I don't see any value. Here as well I don't see any value. Similarly, if you remove the value in here, for example, even this will be hashtag mark. So you see here, the options where you do not have values, you can see hashtag mark in here. So let me try to remove my VM name, for example. So going back to my VM deploy, edit it, ARM template. Let me go here to my back to my VM name and let me remove this one. So this option, remove it. So I can see type and I can see metadata only. I don't see any my VM name in there. So click on save button. Now go back to my deploy again. Now deploy it. Now here as well you can see hashtag mark. So you don't see from ARM template. That means you have to provide it here for sure, or else it will fail. So that's how it happens here, guys. So you can provide a username, something, you know, kind of here. Let me see. I don't have. Let me go and write down my VRIT-RG, and here VRIT admin, and here capital VRIT admin at the rate of 1 2 3 4 and 5. So and this is the hashtag mark I have in here. So I'm trying to provide my Windows -VM. So this is the form which you're getting based upon your parameters, generally which may change for every template what you're trying to go with. So now what you do, simply go ahead and say purchase. So again, agree with your conditions what you have in here and simply say purchase. So now based upon the things what you have provided, based upon the form what you have filled in here, it goes and does the validation part, and yes, now validation is successful and it's initializing my deployment in here. So what this will do, it will go and, oh, very good, deployment got failed. 1 second. Additional details from underlying API might be helpful. The template deployment is not valid according to the validation procedure. Oh, there's some issues with the ARM templates, not valid. Okay, so let me go back here. Um, the domain name Windows is invalid. Okay. Okay. I think the name itself or part of the name is reserved word. Yeah, that's a problem. So Windows is a reserved word in here. So it's not allowing to do it. Let me add something like,
Sham, in that code, actually, I see that it is a simple -VM. I think we need to change that.
not required, not required. You can override this one here itself. It's not required
Okay.
to right over there. So now what are the name I provided in here that is taking this one in here. So it says that this Windows is a reserved word. So I can't have reserved within my name levels in here. So I'm trying to add something, VRIT or Windows VM. Now let's go and see. Ah, okay, I think I have to remove that name totally. Windows itself. Let me remove this one. Now I should get the things done. Yeah, submitting deployment in progress. Perfect. So now it will go ahead and try to create a new, the things for us with Windows. See, when you try to use the same name, when you try to go and create your things within your portal app directly. So we have your, virtual machine things in here. See, we have virtual machine in here. So within this one, I provide the same name, Windows hyphen virtual machine or Linux hyphen virtual machine. It never provided gave me any issue. But when you try to go with your ARM template, it's saying that there is a reserved word, so I can't use that within my template engine. So such kind of small things, there will be difference between when you make your this was created directly from your portal level or trying to create using your ARM template. So you have to take care of all those things when you're trying to create your ARM template engine. Probably that is the reason being they provide like the simple hyphen VM. So the names. So they have to take care of this particular part in here. So let me see what is the status of my deployment. Yeah, so they're trying to go and try to create the things for us. So we are at -VM. So go home, click on your, yeah, see, it's been creating. So it's a Windows operating system, the standard, and the VRAT -VM has been getting created in here. So this is how you can go ahead and you can deploy your things in here. You can using your portal level, you can using your ARM template, you can go and try to create your things in here. The similar case, now suppose you want to create any other things, or like your storage accounts. Yes, you can go ahead and do the things, or you want to create your app services in here. You can go ahead and you can do the things in here. So suppose here I'm trying to create something like we are at a web application. This is the name of the web application I want to provide, and location you have in here, the SKU you have in here. All these are what parameters, because I can see type, default value, and my descriptions. So variables I have only one thing. It's a plan name, and have only one resources in here where I'm getting my plant name and my location. Yeah, this is where I believe I'm going to provide my some sites, because application name what you provide in here that should be unique. So probably within the website of your Microsoft.web, the name what you need to provide is a unique in here. So if you want, you can mention this one as well. So Control C, go back here to my templates. Again, go to the templates in here. Click on create. I can say, web app create. All those things. Oh, sorry. So all these are, or we can find from Google. All these are standard templates. You can make a change. This is already which I had done earlier. So the standard template, you can go and make the changes in here. So as per my parameters, I can see web app name, I can see location, I can see SKU for version.
Sham, can you
And
send that link for this templates to be found on Google?
yeah, I'll show you that. So I can see some variables in here. So click on add. Go back template now. I can see web application. Go ahead and deploy. So when you said deploy, again the same thing. I'm going to create using the same resource group. So now I can see very few. These are the things which has been basic F1, or you can see very few in here. So again, go ahead, purchase. So now I start deploying my web application in here as well. Started deploying my things with respect to my app services as well. So I can see, okay, one is deployed successfully done. Okay, let me go back and let me check my virtual machine. It's running, very good. Oh my God, what happened? Okay, very good. So this is my IP address, which has been created for with respect to my things in here. I'm copying it, and you can do the same thing again. RDP, yeah, in my app services also completed, I believe. Click on connect. Provide your user ID and password. The what you mentioned when you're trying to create a template in here. Capital BRIT admin at the rate of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Click on OK. Yeah, go and click on yes. So you should be able to connect to my respective VRIT VM in here. So Windows virtual machines. Okay. So this is a brand new which you're trying to create in here. The same old thing what we saw earlier. So I'm just canceling as of now. So now let's go back to my web application what we have. App services. Yeah, I can see my app service got created successfully running in here as well. So this is again I try to create it using my using my ARM template in here. The similar kind of stuff you can go ahead and you create using your storage account as well if you want. Okay, even this also will work. So now how can you see, how can you get this templates in Google? So go back to Google in here, Google search, and you can say a kind of uh, what is that ARM template for VM in Azure, for example. So this is for Windows VM. So you can get the things in here. So this is the same thing, parameter, user ID, your password, your VM names. The same way I picked it. This is the the same place where I picked it, my simple VM, all those things in here. Similar case, you can say that instead of VM, you can say something like, app services, ARM template, or let me go with my web application. ARM template for Azure web application or whatever it is. So create an app services app using ARM template. So everything you can find within your documentation of your Microsoft. So this is this is your things again. See the same thing which I got it now. The location, the name, what I have in here. So the name here they're trying to mention, but you can mention your own name. Currently, what I have done, I have mentioned my own name in here. Within my app services, I have mentioned my own name in here. The first one, web app name in here, what you see here. So, but here they're trying to create based upon the resource group what you're trying to provide, based on things what you provide in here, the location, the SKU, the line of there is URL. So all these things are parameters. So one variable and one resources. The same thing which I just try to pull the things from here. The same thing I pull from here. The same thing. Okay. So this is for your web application. So this is for your what web application, and similarly, if you want to go and the ARM template for other things, you can Google like your storage account. So you can see deploy template Azure. This is not the one. Yeah, template. This is JSON format. So this is the tab, JSON form to create storage account resource at the following JSON format your template in here. So by placing this one, so your ARM, the storage account will be created in here. So let me check it out whether it will the same or not. The parameters, deployment prefix, storage account type, parameters. I don't see any parameters in here. I'll see properties directly. I don't think this is the one. To check it out, where it is. Let me go in here first. Create a storage account. This is a normal one, not this one. To check it out where it is. Service update or some other way, you have to check it out. So like we have to search in the Google. It's not like everywhere for everything we find it the same place. Not like that. You have to somewhere. My storage account. How can storage template? How does it go? ARM template for storage account. Template specifications, deployment. I need to search for that. Somewhere it should be there. I can provide you this one, not a problem for you guys. Okay, because it should. We found one, but it did not start parameters because we should have parameters for sure, and variables and resources. The same old thing we should have in here. So I found somewhere that time, and I saved it because I don't want to search every time. For somehow it's not fine. I'm not able to find now. But anyway, I'll try to provide you these templates for you guys so that you can go and you can download the things. I mean, you can practice the things from your side as well. Okay. So this is the one, guys, with respect to deployments. So what you have done till now is like, with respect to my portal level, you went on and you're trying to create things in here. Now what I want to do is like, going forward, I would like to create my resources not coming to my portal level. So as you know, we have something like AZ commands, right? So we do have some AZ commands where we can go ahead and we can create the resources over there as well. So as you have your AZ command create group or AZ command create virtual machine, similar to that here, do we have any command to run your ARM template in here? That's what I want to have go in here. So yes, we do have our commands to run your ARM template. So earlier what you have done, you try to run your multiple commands in here. You see, you say azvm delete, azvm create, and you provide all the things in here. But now what I want to do, I don't want to mention all those things. I just want to run my, ARM template, but not from my portal level, but from my a command level in here. So how can you do that particular part? So how can you run your ARM template with respect to my AZ commands in here? So for that, you can go ahead and you can write on the multiple commands, with your some kind of parameters also will be added in here. So you can go with your parameterization stuff as well, so that you can add your things and you can, you can what you say like you can parameter as well. So in here in your ARM template, everywhere you are using hard-coded values like your, your VM name. So for example, to see here within my template level, you're trying to hard code the values. A few values will be hard coded. See my public name, or my like my the standard size, or the or the name of my VM name. So these things are a little bit hard coded. So every time when you're trying to create a new virtual machine, I have to come back in here, or I have to make the changes in here, or I have to make the changes in my portal level. So I have to override the values. So I don't want to override my values in here like this. So I want to pull the values from here, to pull the values to here to particular VM name or to my, the size in here from some other file where I'll be having all the values over there and from some separate file, and from separate file I want those values what you have over there, those values should come and sit in here, and based upon that I would like to go with my, the new virtual machines in here. So this is the same thing what you did for variabilization concept. So whenever you made any changes to the value like $RG, what we have done earlier, if you remember, when you're trying to see a PowerShell. So there is that PowerShell. So when you saw any PowerShell scripting in your what you have done, you use the variables, right? So use the variables. When you made any changes in here, automatically those values will be reflected within my commands in here, and new resources will be created for us. So when you make any changes to my variables in here, based upon the new values, my new variables or new resources will be created. Similar to this one, what I'm trying to go in here is like, I will not use my values anymore in here. I'll try to remove my value in here. But if you remove your value in here, then how do you get my value for my VM size? Or similarly, if I remove my value in here, how can I get my value for my VM name in here? So these values you can get from my some other file called as parameter file in here. See here, I'll show you. This is a file. So see here, it's a directly I can mention my we are at admin, my password, my OS version, my size, my public IP, my location, my VM name as well. So this is the template. This is a parameter file template where you can tag this particular file to your ARM template, so that these values will go ahead and will sit in your ARM template, and based upon the new values what you provide in here, your new resource will be created, new virtualization will be created. So how can you tag your things? How can you run your template, ARM template within your using your commands? So we'll see that in your next classes. Okay. So we similar to my AZ commands, what you saw in here. Similarly, with respect to the same AZ command, I will not provide all these things anymore, but I will try to go and say that go and run my ARM template. I have my template ready, and within my template, I have all the values inside that. Try to run that ARM template. So today we saw how do you run your ARM template or deploy ARM template using a portal level directly. But now again, I would like you people to understand how can you run your ARM template using your AZ commands in here. But this is not the one. So here I can provide you the syntax for now, but we run in next class. So how can we run ARM template using AZ command? So again, every command starts with what? AZ. Right, AZ. So here with respect to my ARM template, the resource name generally, after AZ you can see your resource group, resource name is to whatever you want to do with, you want to create, you want to delete, whatever you want to do for that respect to, you have to mention your resource name first. So here VM delete, VM create, storage account create, storage account delete. Similarly here as well with respect to my ARM template, I will not mention ARM template in here, but I have to mention something called as deployment group. Deployment group means internally it try to go with my ARM template in here. Okay, what do you want to do with my deployment group in here? So I want to create my deployment group in here. So can you please provide me the deployment when you're trying to do this particular process in here? When you're trying to create, can you please provide the name of your process? Yes, I can provide my name like hyphen name, and I can say it's a VM hyphen deploy. So this is the name I'm trying to provide for the process which is going to create in here. This is just a name. It's not the VM name in here, guys. This is the name of the deployment group process which trying to create in here. So after providing the name in here, so what we have to do, we can simply mention the where is my template file, and we can mention when you, if you remember, when you're trying to create a resource ARM template in here within your portal level, you mention your resource group explicitly. Similarly here as well, you have to mention the resource group in here. So for that reason being hyphen resource hyphen group, and I can say it's like a VRIT hyphen RG. And now I have to mention my template file. So this is a template file I'm having. So go ahead and try to deploy my things, try to run my template file in here. So for that, I have to say hyphen template and try to mention the template file name in here. So currently, what is my template file name in here? It's a VM deploy underscore ARM dot JSON. So the same thing, you have to go back in here and mention it dot JSON. So this is without parameterization, guys. So this particular file contains already all the values inside it. So it's not you're not doing any parameterization stuff in here. It's a by all the names already have inside it. So I'm not mentioning any parameterization level in here. So if you are not mentioning any, if you do not have any parameterization, if all the values are already there, then this is a format you have to go into. What is that? AZ deployment group create the name of the process, and I'm trying to provide my resource group name in here. So make sure this resource group is already created. So as you saw in your portal, even though the resource group is not available, we created a new resource group. But when you're trying to go with the AZ commands, it's not the case. If this resource group is not available, it will throw an error saying that we don't see that resource group in your list in here. So we have to create a resource group first and then use the existing resource group in here when you're trying to write your SD commands in here. So later on, I would like to mention my template name in here. So this is why when you have values within your files, suppose I want to go with your parameterization stuff, for example. So I have my ninth one. So how can we run ARM template using ARM template with parameters using AZ command? So only extra part what you have to add is like hyphen parameters, and you have to say at the rate of your parameter file name. So what is the parameter file name? It's vm hyphen pars dot json. Just copy this one, have it here, dot json. That's it. So within my parameter file also, here also I never mention any my ARM template name. So do you see the template name in here? No way. So just it's a different file which is contain the values. But what I want to do is like I want to have these values to be deployed or to be used in my ARM template. So only one thing you have to make sure is that your parameter name should be exactly same. Even though you have a small space in here, that means it will not be recognized. So this value will not be there over here. So you have to provide the name again. It's not correct, right? So make sure what are the values you have in here exactly should matches the parameters within your ARM template. So by that particular by that particular way, what we do, we can go and run your things in here. So extra part is what? Hyphen parameters at the rate of your parameter file name. So this names what you have within your parameter, and the name parameter names what you in your having in your ARM template should match for sure. Then only the values will be taken and your virtualization will be created in here. Okay, so we'll see both of these. How can you do it in your by running without parameters and with parameters? How can you run this to using your AZ commands in tomorrow's class? Okay, so let me save this one here. So that's the things we have with respect to ARM templates, guys. Yeah, sure, Chandra. I'll be sending you RM templates today itself. I'll be pushing all the 3 templates for you guys so that you can practice at least using your portal level mainly. First of all, later on we can see the other running AZ command. We will see how can you go from there. Okay. So that's all, guys, for today. So I believe you understood the templates, which is very very important in your real-time perspective. I hope, what's that, Jitendra? I hope we need to run parameter as a command first. What is that? I didn't get it.
So basically, Sham, so here this parameter file and ARM template file both are interlinked, right? So
Both are
can
different,
we,
yeah.
so in that case, can we run those commands independently? Like, I mean,
It's not required.
after.
Not
Mhm.
required. Just follow this particular command in here. Within the same command, what we're trying to do, we're trying to run a template. This is a template.
Mhm.
But while you're running this
Mhm.
particular template, since you do not have the parameters inside that, you don't have the values inside that, what it do, it looks from parameter file. And as you mentioned your
Yeah.
parameter file as well, it pick the value from here and place it in my ARM template and it start running. So it's not like separately we have to run your parameter file first and then your template next. It's not like that. So both the things
Mhm.
should be having the same place in here.
Okay.
Sure,
Right.
in
Yeah.
real-time perspectives, this ARM template, we just need to, edit and, deploy it, right?
Yeah, because that is the reason, right? ARM template I should not touch every time.
Okay,
But that is the reason being we have a parameters concept.
got it.
Every time touching your ARM template is not good because I should have a standard format. So I want to make the new virtual machines to be created or new things to be created based upon my parameter file what I have in. If I made a change in here, automatically new virtual machine should be created here. So I would like to go with my VRIT SOL. My new virtual should be created automatically. So that's how I want to go with. So just made a change in your parameter files, automatically it should go and place the new values within your ARM template and try to create a new virtual machine for you. That's how it has to go. Okay.
Sure.
Okay then guys, then we can wind up for today. We'll meet tomorrow again with let's see how we can go with this easy commands to run your ARM templates with parameters and without parameters values in here. Thank you guys and have a great day ahead and bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, Shyam.